All right, welcome back, everybody. It is early May 1st, 2021. Out here on the West Coast, it's about 1:10 a.m. And we're going to do our last live discussion about the Kentucky Derby. What I have done with this document that all of you have access to is I have got everybody's finalized stats. I had to I did a bunch of work earlier. I pretty much did an hour and a half of work today I did it too early because the races were not done and in yet. So that was a little bit of a headache. But anyway, the good news is this document now has every jockey and trainer's updated first, second, and third place for 2021. So that means tomorrow, there's 14 races tomorrow. The last race is the Kentucky Derby. Remember, Kentucky's 43, 43 is the 14th prime, but there's 14 races tomorrow. If you're watching the races, all you need to do, what I'd encourage everyone to do, and it's good to write things out, or you can type it up, or you can just print out what's already here and highlight it, however you want to do it. But just have each jockey, each trainer with their first, second, and third, and keep track throughout the day as the races go down. So if they finish in first, second, or third, update their tally for the day through each race. And that way, when they go into the final race of the day, the big numbers we're looking at, or maybe even a pattern you'll recognize tomorrow, it will very likely appear. When we've put in the time and followed the Derby through the entire day, or these other races, the Belmont Stakes, the Preakness, and we've done it through the whole day, there are so many riddles you can pick up on by being aware. And another thing to keep track of are the horses in those races. And again, the way you can do that is look up the races, go to Equibase, which is linked in these notes, which I'll show you right where it is near the top of the notes. The Equibase website, you can search every horse, every trainer, every jockey, every owner. It's got all the they update the stats throughout the day, but usually 5 to 10 minutes after the race is over. That's why, since we already have it all written down for what it is going into May 1st, how everyone finished up at the end of this day. If you saw what was up hours ago, those stats were incorrect. I want you to know that. Apologies. I did it too soon. They still had more races going on today. Some jockeys literally had 11 more races. I'm like, how's that even possible? They ran 11 more races. But they did. And so anyway, but what's nice is everything is current now going into May 1st. So if you keep track of all 14 races, and realize not every jockey's going to go in every single race tomorrow, but there'll be jockeys tomorrow that probably race in 5 races or maybe even a little bit more. There'll be some that race in less than that. But again, you keep track of it throughout the day. You can see if they can hit a magic number when the big race comes up. So, with that said, I also want to get into a few more observations I had. And after I sip this tea here in just a moment, I want to talk about the favorite horse. Again, the horse that, again, is expected to win and that more and more money is pouring in on. I want to talk about that horse because I did some more homework on it. There's something that couldn't be more surface level about that horse, which I'll show you. But I also found a few more interesting things about Bob Baffert's horse, the man who's attempting to win his 7th Kentucky Derby in a year of 7s. And of course, if his horse won, well, it has some good value, whereas the favorite horse, not a lot of value at all. And the value is declining by the moment. But hold on. Okay, so they scratched a horse late, King Fury. So that gave us 19 horses for this year's Kentucky Derby. Think about what we always talk about with 19. 19-year cycles, the moon, and its 19-year cycles. Again, if you're new here, we talk about this all the time. The reason the War on Germs was declared 19 years after the War on Terror, which was declared 19 years after the War on Drugs, which was declared 19 years after the War on Courage, which was when JFK got assassinated in 63, and a lot of people learned to, fear Big Brother. But, and think about 9/11, 19 hijackers. The War on Germs is COVID-19. It's funny how there's an article out there, if you search for it, about how chaos could erupt with the mix of horses they have this year and how that could be beneficial to Baffert. The word chaos is 19. But Baffert won 19 years ago. He won the Kentucky Derby May 4th, 2002, with war emblem. And I find that name interesting in light of it being 21 now, because the word war, here, I'll just show you real quick. The word war has gematria of 21, and war is 21, armies 21, Jesuits 21, even words like evil are 21. But if you follow my Twitter, the first post I put up to start this year is I said, watch for the theme of war this year in 21. Well, on February 1st, 2-1, Burma's military overthrew their government, and now it's been a military dictatorship since then, one of the bigger stories in the world. But again, his horse's name was War Emblem, and it was about 20-1, kind of like where Medina Spirit is right now. And it's funny, it ran a 201 that year because Run for the Roses is 201. And his jockey, because of how things finished today, his jockey going into tomorrow, May 1st, he has 201 races under his belt. 201, the number we keep talking about. So Baffert's jockey has raced 201 races at the conclusion of April 30th. And here, I'll just put them up right here right now. Equibase, again, is the website you want. Up here, you search horse, jockey, trainer in the top right, owners, tracks. You could even do more homework on the tracks. There's a lot deeper we can get with the horse racing. While I was working on this tonight, I was like, I know what I need to do. Some of these guys are just staples. I need to just make like a book with like the top 20 jockeys, the top 20 trainers, their base stats, their birthdays. It would make doing research like this a real breeze if you had the key gematria. And I guess you could update it as like an e-document each year as their accomplishments went on. But I was like, duh, why don't I do that? Because every year I'm writing out the same stuff and measuring the same stuff. I'm kind of an idiot in a lot of ways. I could just do things so much more effectively, and I really need to. Because I put in too much time, and it's because I'm not doing things as well as I should, I realize. But hold on, that's not who I want. I don't want horses. I want to look at what I just want to show you right now, Velazquez, so you don't have to take my word for it. Again, it's the middle of the night. There are no horse races going on right now. And John R. Velazquez, who is on Bob Baffert's horse, Medina Spirit, right now. Let me zoom that in even further. That's got to be clear enough. Yeah. He has 201 starts for this year, 35 firsts, 26 seconds, 30 thirds. And again, he's the only jockey coming in tomorrow in the main race that's sitting on 201, a number that we talk an awful lot about, and it's even encoded in this race. So anyhow, Baffert did win 19 years ago. The War Emblem thing stands out. The time it ran stands out. That it was a 20-1 back then stands out. And you know what? Let me do something that I hadn't done yet. Victor Espinoza won. Let's see if there's a parallel there. Let's see what's up with Victor Espinoza right now. He's 48 years old, May 23rd birthday. So that means the race is 22 days before his birthday. We've been talking about the relationship with 22 and 147. But hold on. That would mean from his last birthday. It's the middle of the night. I'm just going to do it to be safe here. May 23rd, 2020 to today. 343 days. It's 49 weeks on the nose. 49's got that square root of 7. Baffert's going for his 7th. In a year of 7s in sports. Again, Saban, Brady, 7 Texas teams in March Madness, and Baylor from Texas wins it. Well, the one thing is, it is 49 weeks after that jockey's birthday, and that number does have a true strong relationship with 7. I guess I could look at his name gematria real quick. Whoops, hold on. Victor Espinoza has the 78 and 78, like Run for the Roses. Run for the Roses. It's got the 201, but the 75 and 78. Okay, but the 19-year thing is there. And I should have had that thought sooner, but I had it tonight while I was working on this, and I said, I better look and see who won 19 years ago. And sure enough, there he was, Bob Baffert, and the horse name jumped out to me in a big way. Oh, and as we're going to get to after this, one more thing about Baffert. The guy who owns the horse that's favored to win, did you guys know that he's the vice president of the United Arab Emirates? I'm going to show you this. And United Arab Emirates is 121, and the race is on the 121st day of the year. I gotta throw out that chill pill for a second before you go bet your whole house on Bob Baffert. But like we talked about at the end of today's stream, the horse that won the Kentucky Oaks. I might have said oats like Quaker oats. It's because it's the middle of the night. But the Kentucky Oaks, the horse that won that, the jockey that rode that horse today is John Velazquez, who won the Kentucky Derby last year on Bob Baffert's horse, Authentic. And again, this year he's on Bob Baffert's horse. But what's interesting is he could win the Derby back to back, which isn't something that's. I was trying to find out how many times. If somebody wants to do this homework, I have not figured it out yet, and I didn't want to start the live stream at 3 a.m. West Coast time. But if you want to see how many jockeys have won back to back, that could be a real key stat. If you see something like it could happen for the seventh time, that would be amazing. Again, it's been a year of sevens, but back to back even has that 201 as well. So I got to throw that out there. And the name of the horse, Malathot, is just like Bob Baffert in two of the four base ciphers, but including the most simple one, which is where I always like to see things. But you see how Malathot's 77 and 58, so is Bob Baffert in the same ciphers. And again, Bob Baffert could pick up his seventh this year. Okay. Oh, but the other thing that needs to be pointed out about Malathot is that horse, the trainer is Todd Pletcher, who has 4 horses in the Kentucky Derby and some of the more interesting ones. And so again, that's the new information there to start out with. The 19-year pattern with the 19 horses and the 19 cycles in the moon. And oh, if I forgot to say so, moon equals 51. And 21, like how the race is on 5-1. Well, I suppose Moon's 15 as well. 5-1 or 1-5, however you write the date, in the year 21. So, fitting ritual it would be. And we need an astrology expert to tell us maybe some more about what's specific to tomorrow. Anyhow. I'm going to skip over a lot of this because we already did a long stream. Again, if this is the first thing you're tuning into, I did open this up for the $1 Patreons just for the last final discussion. But again, you guys have the notes, but a lot of this stuff's already been covered. And again, that Gematria Run for the Roses. And you see how it's 75 in the most pure cipher, just like Louisville, Kentucky? Again, the first ever Kentucky Derby, known as the Run for the Roses, was in 1875. In that same cipher, New World Order 75, again, as we're about to get to, the favored horse is owned by the Vice President of the United Arab Emirates, and there's some interesting things about that. And again, that horse is Essential Quality, who was a 5-2 at the start of the week, but now has become... doesn't even you have to it's probably somewhere around right now where you have to bet 100 to win 80 because so many people bet on that horse, the payouts become less. So there's a lot of money on that horse, and it is the clear favorite. Again, you see the odds after that fall off quite a ways, but Baffert's horse at the start of the week, its odds have grown, which is favorable if it comes through. So again, all the gematria, we've covered all this. What I just want to make sure everybody's up on is if you scroll through the notes. So when you get down to this section where every horse has its little box, and then the notes, you'll see below the jockey. So Luis Saez is the jockey. Below the jockey, you have their current stats. So these are all taken in the middle of the night when, again, everything is up to date. So here, just to go to Saez and show you. And again, trust me, it is, because I just took the time to do this because I'd already gone through all of this and I thought that I had the final numbers already, and then I was analyzing those, and then they weren't even the final numbers. But I'll tell you what, the silver lining of that is I had been searching for the meaning of the number 154, and I finally figured it out tonight. And I thought I'd really cracked it, but then I was like, damn, they updated the numbers, so it didn't even matter. If you read the notes a little bit ago, you saw it. But anyway, for my book that I'm writing right now, I've been trying to research 154, and I couldn't put the pieces of the puzzle together. But then tonight I finally did it, and I said, no wonder, man. I knew there was something with that number. I'll talk about it later. But anyway, as you can see, his current stats, just like what I have on the screen. So, like I was saying, tomorrow, and again, I really think it's a good habit to write things out because we're always on computers and screens. I mean, get a piece of paper. Everybody has a scrap piece of paper around and a pen, and just write it out. Write out the jockeys, write out the trainers, and write out the starting wins and losses, or not wins and losses, but first, seconds, and thirds. You could even keep track of the race numbers too. That could be a clever thing. You might spot something along the way. But again, just write it out by pen. I mean, you could scroll through this document and have it all written out on a piece of paper in no doubt, 10 minutes tops, 10 minutes out of your day. And I'm sure a lot of us spend waste 10 minutes all the time. So a little bit of work, just having that hand visual. Because the reason I encourage people to write things out is because when you write things down, it's like it does a different part of your brain. The reason what helped me memorize everything so fast when I first started this is I did write everything out in journals. Just by writing it, just like the muscle memory, and just again, that's how you learn things and you get it more ingrained in your brain. So again, if you write down these lists tomorrow, the starts, and that's how it is for each guy. You see how it's the starts, and then what the numbers are. So like for here, you know what? I'm going to take the word starts out because I didn't write it in most. Well, just like right here, the first number on the left for all of these columns, I'm just going to get rid of the start since I didn't write it in the other ones too. It's the same for all of them though. Every single one's the same. The stat below the jockey is the jockey stats for 2021. I did everybody's stats for this year. So Luis Saez coming into tomorrow has done 519 races. And it's funny that number ends with 19, with the 19 horses. But, whoops. But let me make sure 519, there's not anything about that number. Okay, it's not a prime number. Okay, but he's done 519 races. He has 95 firsts. He has 86 seconds, 81 thirds. That's how you read those stats. So that's how you'd write it down on your piece of paper so you understood it. And then what you can do is, you can look through the races and you can jot down what race numbers in the day. Like, are they, for example, is Saez in the first race tomorrow? Is he... I realize that I've done this in past horse races. This was my big mistake, or the thing that I really should have had done. It is helpful when you go through the other races because you might notice like a ritual. If you go through all 14 races and notice Saez is in race X, 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 and X, you might notice something about that and be like, look at that. And then you can follow his pattern throughout the day. I suppose I could stay up all night and get that in here too. But again, at the same time, I'm trying to teach you how to do this the right way. And that is the one step that I skipped here that I should not have. But still, you can follow this throughout the day. You have time to get it done between now and then. And this is where it can be very lucrative because patterns will emerge that will scream out, as they've done in the past when we've done the exact same things. And again, right below Brad H. Cox, the trainer for this horse, 330 races, 91st, 60 seconds, 44 thirds. And some of them, it looks like when I copied and pasted, I got their prize money that they've won this year. So Brad Cox, he's won $9,404,097 so far this year through all of his races. But I didn't mean to. I don't think I got that in most of them. I think I just copied because all I was doing was just copying right from the Equibase. Luis Saez has made over 6 million this year. That's a lot of horse races though. 519, man. I mean, how many days are we into the year? Today was the 120th. That guy rides on average 4 horse races a day. Okay, let's see. I suppose it's like, well, that's only minutes out of a day, I guess. Okay, but I'm sure there's a lot of training and maintenance and traveling and waiting between races and days at the track. Anyway, this horse that has Luis Saez and Brad Cox for the trainer, it's owned by Sheikh Mohammed, who is the vice president and prime minister. I forgot to say and prime minister of the United Arab Emirates, and the ruler of the Emirate of Dubai. So something else as well. Did you see this part about since his ascension in 2006? So that means 2021 is 15 years later, right? And the race is May 1st, which can be written 1-5, like 15, and it's got the 47 date numerology, which is the 15th prime. So he's been ruling for 15 years. Now he has this horse in this big race on 1-5. And get a load of this. From the day of the race to his upcoming birthday, July 15th, 75 days. And remember, Run for the Roses, Louisville, Kentucky, 75 in the Most Pure Cipher. In that Most Pure Cipher, so is New World Order. And we've always talked about how that headline from the New York Times, October 6, 1940, New World Order pledged to Jews. That was the headline in the New York Times on that day. Here, I'll show it to you if you've never seen this before. But that date had 75 numerology. And let me see. Again, I mean, you can't. So think about like the horse no an agenda in the race. If that horse doesn't win, maybe it does, that horse has a lot of good numbers. I'm not trying to say that horse isn't going to do well, but if it doesn't do well, just its name in the race, and especially if this favorite wins, you just see kind of what it is. It's like, okay, I get it. On the Bavarian Illuminati establishment, this tribute to this, this sheik in the middle, in the Middle East, where essentially the blood of the New World Order flowed from for a long time. Oil, since the industrial world runs on oil. But let me see. I was hoping it would just pull up as the first post. Let's see. Well, anyway, you can look it up. It's a real thing. I don't even want to waste the time on it right now. October 6th, 1940. That's the day of the New York Times article, New World Order Pledge to Jews. Hold on. Let me just see if I type that in, if it just comes up just on a regular archived page. It would be annoying if I found out that Google removed that post from my blog. Because before, when I searched for that, it would always come up as the first thing. It looks like it's still here, archived on the New York Times. It is. So this is right from the New York Times website. New World Order Pledge to Jews, October 6, 1940. 10 plus 6 plus 19 plus 40, 75. And you know what? If you want to get even cuter, that date 10-6, again, because all this stuff has to do with prophecy. You see how prophecy is 106, 110, 29 as well? Look at Kentucky, 106, 110, 29. So this, and keep in mind also, the horse was originally a 5-2 favorite, kind of like 52 NWO's 52, like government, like authority, like Kabbalah, like Earth. It's a big number, that 52. 52 weeks in the year. But I also noticed that his full name is 263, the 56th prime, like Kentucky Derby. It's also 110, like Kentucky. 439 is the 85th prime. I don't know if that factors in with this race. That's a Jesuit number, though. But I just kept thinking there's got to be a reason that this horse is the favorite. So I was just looking more, and I was like, here, let me look more into the owner. And then I saw it was this guy, and I was like, whoa, okay. Prime Minister. I mean, that's what I realized. That's why I was like, I need to go deeper than I ever have with, because that's what I realized. There's horse racing going on all the time, and it's actually really lucrative. And even though we haven't invested that much time in it compared to what we've done with, say, football or basketball, we've done really well at it. And I'm like, what we're missing is knowing even more about the sport than we already do. We understand things like Bob Baffert's the Tom Brady of the sport right now because he wins so much with the LeBron James. But again, just like uncovering who some of these big owners are that put out a lot of these horses, because what you realize is there's like, again, there's a group of jockeys and trainers that are always right there, and then there's some of these big breeders and owners. But if you got like the top 20 for all of these things with a real good analysis, it would be a real nice cheat sheet for people that do horse racing. So if anybody wants to take that idea and run with it and get it done, even though I'm putting it out there, if you do that and you do a good job, and I'll scan it with my own eyes, I'd be happy to promote it for you. Because again, I want to see this community grow and more people help out and help build up other people. And again, for me, it's just like I need to figure out how to get more efficient, but there's just only so many hours in a day. And yeah. Anyway, this guy though, this guy, he's quite impressive in numbers. And here I'll write down what I just said too, because I thought I wrote it down already, but maybe not, or maybe I accidentally deleted it. He has been ruling for 15 years, and the race is on 1/5, like 15. Plus, it's a date with 47 numerology, 15th prime. Okay, and again, they did that big 47 thing last year with Secretariat. Okay. Oh, and then also this the surface level thing, like it couldn't get any more surface level with the favorite horse, is that it's a gray horse, and there's not many gray horses that have ever won the Kentucky Derby, but gray has the Gematria 51. And remember, Super Bowl 54. It was the first ever Super Bowl where both teams wore red for their base color, and they made a big deal about this at the Super Bowl. But notice, red equals 54, right? That was Super Bowl 54, and the thing about 27, what red also is, forwards and backwards. Red, the AFC and NFC tied each other at 27 Super Bowls apiece. And remember, that was the Joe Montana Bowl, which is another 54. And he wore 19 with the Chiefs, and they won the season that ended, in 2020, but started in 2019. Niners, Chiefs, the Joe Montana teams. But Gray has the 51, like 5-1, and 21, like the year. And again, the jockey's surname is also perfect for the day as well. 51, 15, 21. And I suppose with the moon and the 19-year cycles, his name is a bit like Moon as well, because Moon has all those same numbers. But remember, it's like that moon thing. It seems like that's more favorable for Baffert, who won 19 years ago. What's safe to assume is that this horse will place. This horse is expected to win the race. It's the best horse. And again, that doesn't mean that it will place, but it's very likely that it will. And if it doesn't win, it would probably be, sniffing the top. And remember, it comes in 5-0. It's never lost. That's also why it's the favorite. It's never lost, so it knows how to compete. I mean, that's what people look at with horse racing. It's like, okay, when that horse runs, it wins. And if it did come in second or even third, I guess you can make an argument for it would be 5-1, right? If it had 5 firsts and it got it first second, its stats would read 5-1-0. Or if it got a third place, their stats would read 5-0-1, which isn't far off from the date as well, 5-1. But, yeah, again, there's some great riddles out there with some value, but there is a reason this horse is the favorite. and I thought I better do some more homework just in case we were missing some low-hanging fruit. And I think I found some pretty important things that are worth considering. Oh, also something else I thought about with the horse is its birthday is April 9th. That date can be written 9/4 like 94. And 94 is another number that has that relationship with 147. When you write out 94 as a word, it's 147. And we've tracked that pattern with sports. It allowed us, for example, in 2016, you guys, we did really well with the World Series because before the season began, I said the Cubs would win the World Series. And I thought that before in spring training, I thought who they would beat was Houston because Houston's 112 and it was the 112th World Series. Well, Houston, the day that they got eliminated from playoff contention, we went with the Cleveland Indians and we went with the Cubs beating the Indians in Game 7 before the playoffs even started because there was a huge ritual with the Cubs. It was so easy to understand why the Cubs were going to win the World Series, but they did this huge ritual exactly 94 days before Game 7, which was scheduled for November 2nd. And that we were already kind of on the Game 7 thing, but then when that happened, what they did in that game, it was like, I got to go back and visit my notes. They're still on my old blog, but it's like the player's name was 94. And again, 94 equals 147, like World Series. But again, just patterns that I learned about many years ago and that we've documented several times since. So anyway, the course's birthday, 9/4, is a bit like 94, which relates to 147. And I actually just thought about something else that I should have had up here before, too. Okay, April 9th. The horse's birthday is the 99th day of the year. And they call that the day it was foaled, but it's its birthday. And the thing about being born on the 99th day of the year, remember Prince Philip just died at age 99 on the 99th day of the year. But the Bavarian Illuminati was formed on 99 date numerology. May 1st, 1776. 5 plus 1 plus 17 plus 76. And it's just one more thing there that's for that essential quality. Brad H. Cox, born March 3rd, 41 years old, the 13th prime. When you write out 13, it equals 99. Don't forget that either. There's nothing that's super interesting right now in his numbers, but I have to see what he does tomorrow. He has a lot of horses going. So, but yeah, the guy who owns the horse, and it being 75 days from his birthday, and again, he's in the United Arab Emirates, which equals 121, and the race is on the 121st day of the year. And like I was telling you earlier today when we did the stream, the last jockey to win on May 1st, his name equaled 121. So the favored horse, which isn't much fun to bet on because it's not much of a payout. And again, that's the thing about horse racing is like that's the reason people do it because if you have a good day at the track and you hit on some horses that are 10 to 1, 20 to 1, I mean you can make a lot of money. And we have proven many times over many years you can do it. But again, you got to do enough homework and you got to do it right. And to be honest, when I first started, I kept it way more surface level. I think what I did that I was a lot better at back then was just watch TV with this knowledge and listen to what they were saying and like pick up on the things they're putting in front of the screen. Did I skip over the gray thing? Hold on. Or what did I do with it? Oh yeah, see, this is what I want to show you. Like even headlines like this are out there right now. Want to bet the gray? That means bet on the favorite because it's the gray horse. Notice how that phrase bet the gray's even 51. And then they say there's good and bad news. The bad news, hardly any gray horses have ever won. What's interesting, though, is the last time a gray horse won. Or hold on. I didn't check to see if that horse won in 96. I guess that article didn't. Okay. Well, okay. Here's what's also. We got to find out real quick. We got to find out. The last time a gray horse was the favorite was 1996, and that was 25 years ago. This horse's name, essential quality, equals 97, which is the 25th prime, and horse equals 25, and so does time. So it'd be a ritual in time, and of course, it's all about time with the horse race. But hold on. Who won this horse? Grindstone. Can I see if that horse was gray? Let's see. The loss by the 7-2 favorite Unbridled Song marked the 17th year in a row that the betting favorite failed to win the race. Okay, so that year it did not win. Okay, so that's actually an important distinction. That needs to be in the notes. The 1996 favorite did not win, which was the 17th year in a row that the favorite didn't win at the Derby. Well, there's no streak like that going on right now. Well, in a way, that's kind of a sigh of relief because we don't want this horse to win. This horse is no fun. But again, I just want people to realize there are some things here for this horse. So, because if you have the strategy of the horses that we like with the value, the only thing that would kill you is if none of those horses won the race. I mean, that would be a killer. And like we've been saying, the one thing we got to watch out for is this favorite horse. Is there something this horse we're missing? Okay. And here I'll just plug in essential quality so you can see it is a 97, which is the 25th prime, which should remind you of the 97th NFL season where they moved the touchback to 25 yards, and the Patriots came back on 2/5 down 25 to beat the Falcons that equal 25 in Gematria. So essential quality does have that 97 connection, which goes with the 25 years ago. And here I'll just link this 1996 information. The horse that won, though, was Grindstone, just for kicks. Let's see the gematria of that horse. It's got the 145 like Catholic. It's got the 55, which reminds me of the horse on the 10th post this year. Okay. So anyway, you guys, if you go through the notes, again, below each jockey, below each trainer for each horse, you have their stats going into May 1st. So if you keep track all day, you can likely pick up on some good riddles. Oh, by the way, I caught this article about Hot Rod Charlie. Horse once had 94 to 1 odds in Breeders' Cup Juvenile, now a top 5 Derby contender, and that's for this year, the 147th. Again, 94, when you write it out as a word, is 147. So, let me see what other values. I know it's got a 57 in it. Let me see what the other ones are. It's also got the 51 like the date, 5-1. Okay, so that's about Hot Rod Charlie. Like, for example, something to look out for with Hot Rod Charlie, you guys. There's 14 races. If you're going into the Kentucky Derby and Flavian Pratt has picked up 2 more first during the day, so he's sitting on 93. If he had a chance to get his 94th win, his 94th first in the 147th Kentucky Derby, again, that would be worth a late bet on. That would definitely be worth a late bet because, and you could evaluate. I mean, you by at that point you can see what you stand to gain, where you're at, how you're doing throughout the day. But that would be worth the risk because the 94-147 relationship is strong. So let me write this out. If Flavian Pratt wins 2 races before the Kentucky Derby, 14 races total for the day. He won't be in all 14, but you need to see what races he's in tomorrow. He could pick up his 94th in the Kentucky Derby, the last event of the day. And again, 94 equals 147, 147th Kentucky Derby. Okay, but it's here for every single jockey and trainer. And again, Medina Spirit, Bob Baffert, who we started with, the new observations at the beginning. Again, the only jockey coming in with 201 races under his belt. And he's on 35 first, 26 seconds, 33rds right now. But yeah, just coming into with 201 on the day. I would really if you're doing the Kentucky Derby all day tomorrow. Here, let me see something real quick. Let's see if we can do this. John Velazquez scheduled races May 1st, 2021. Let's see if we can get something here. Bleacher. I can't imagine the Bleacher Report has it. No, that's just for the Derby. They're not going to have the other races. They wrote, if Velazquez can ride Medina Spirit to victory, it would make history for trainer Bob Baffert, who is tied with Ben Jones for the most career Kentucky Derby victories at 6. Baffert, who won with Authentic in 2020, hasn't won consecutive derbies since his first 2 victories in 97 and 98. That was... I guess that would be 23 years, right? Because, yeah, 23 years. Silver Charm and Real Quiet. Let me check out this Ben Jones real quick. Actually, should have decoded that. 84, 31, 32, 42. Look at that, you guys. That's sick. He died on June 13th, the day leaving 201 days left in the year. He's born in 1882, died in 1961. That was 60 years ago. Well, almost. June 13th will be 60 years. He was born 139 years ago, which is the Bavarian Illuminati's 139. Let me check out his full name real quick. He was born 130, well, his 130, I guess on the last day of this year, it'll be 139 years. He's got the 102, the reflection at 201. Ben A. Jones. Ben A. Jones. Well, hold on. He was doing it Ben A. Jones, not Benjamin A. Jones. Let's get this right. Ben A. Jones. Again, do it the way they do it. 158 is a Freemasonry Jesuit number. So 85 is a Jesuit number. He died at age 78. You know what's funny about that? And on the day leaving 201 days left for the year. Run for the Roses. 201.78. And again, June 13th. Oh, you know what else? It's the 164th day of the year. The day leaving 201 days. That's messed up, man. Again, Kentucky Derby's 164. Man. I got to plug this note in here. We're still grinding. It's almost 2 a.m. Okay. Let's see. He would pass Ben A. Jones, who he is tied with for first at 6. Ben A. Jones passed June 13th, 1961 at age 78. Okay. Because again, this goes with how Velasquez is coming in with the 201 wins in the back-to-back thing. Let me just put that here again too. Back-to-back 201. He won last year. Somebody might be like, what's that mean back-to-back? He won the Kentucky Derby last year. Okay. But yeah, that's a trip about Ben A. Jones. Uh, man, we're not supposed to know what we know, man. I'll tell you that much. Where did I just write that at? And again, he also died on the 164th day of the year. Okay. Okay, so again, if you missed the start of this stream, there's a lot of stuff that's very interesting about Baffert, and it's just getting more interesting by the moment. Why, if Baffert passed him, it's 60 years later. The word order itself is 60 and 75. Again, 75 has a big connection to the race. We're talking about that prime minister and vice president of a United Arab Emirates who's got the favorite horse 75 days from his birthday and the first race at this track in 1875. But could pass him 60 years after his death. Actually, you know what we need to do? This is what we need to do. Let's see what years he won. Okay, he won the Kentucky Derby in 38. Go figure. His first. That was 83 years ago. 1941, 1944, 48, 49, 52. He won his last in 52. He won him over a 14-year span. Kentucky's 43, the 14th prime, like they run 14 races in the day. End equals 14. He didn't win anymore 14 years after winning his first. Baffert's been winning over a lot longer span. He didn't do it as fast as this guy. This was 69 years ago. I was just talking about that with the New World Order and Order. Look how New World Order is 69. You know what I mean? And he'd passed 60 years after his death. Hold on, let's check on Bob Baffert real quick. I forget what year he won his first. Whoa. Am I tripping? Or in the top right, is there a... Oh, that's probably because it's blocking out the year. Do you see that? How in his Wikipedia, how they have the trophy holding up, so all you see is the 201 next to the trophy? That is crazy. That's at the 2015 Preakness Stakes that they got up here with this updated wiki photo just in time. These people are clowns, man. It reminds me that Baffert is born on the 13th day of the year with all the Illuminati stuff. I don't know what's Nogales, Arizona known for. It's his hometown apparently. Did Big Al know that? I wonder if Big Al knew that. He's probably brought it up before. I'm sure he knows that. Huh. It's next to the border. But yeah, look at that, man. I don't think Wikipedia did that by accident. Look at that. We know what 201 is to these people. Oh, man, it's funny. Okay. So, The other thing I forgot to say about Baffert, though. Look at this. You see how his next race tomorrow is 116 and his next win is 34? Shit. I forgot to finish doing something I was trying to do a second ago. I was trying to look up. You guys, I know I forgot to finish doing what I meant was started a minute ago, looking up what races that jockey's in tomorrow. But you can look this stuff up. It is out there. There are sites that have it. I should have it by now. That's my big omission. But find it. I'll try to find it once I'm done with the stream and post it and add it to the notes. But I'll add it up near the top, the link, when I get that. But yeah, I want to see what races Baffert's in as well. And if Baffert's going into that, maybe Baffert only, I highly doubt Baffert only has one horse going tomorrow. But if he did, here's what stands out. His next race, which will be tomorrow, is 116, right? 116. And the next first is 34, right? And remember how much we talked about these numbers with the Super Bowl. Tampa's 51 and 15 like the day of the race, right? But Tampa, Florida is 116. And Tom Brady's full name, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. is 116. And again, the year at Tampa was the year of the 116th World Series, the only championship that Tampa lost. But his next race tomorrow is 116, and then he can get that 34, like Tom Brady got his 34th playoff win in Super Bowl LV, which is 34 in English gematria, not 55 like Roman numerals. And Baffert is also entering. Where's he at? Baffert is entering tomorrow's his 34th horse. So 34th horse, and he can get his 34th first place finish. And 34 in numerology is 7. So, you know what else? You know what else I just realized? We're talking a lot about 13. The Fibonacci sequence, part of the sequence goes 13, 21, 34, and then the next number is 55, like the Super Bowl. But again, it's 21. He's born on the 13th day of the year, and perhaps a Super Bowl 55 tribute. Again, the race is 83 days after the Super Bowl. Football's 83. So, and you know what's funny? When I was looking for some Baffert thing tonight that I didn't find, while I was searching for that, article came up how Baffert and Belichick are alike, and I was like, God, we're always saying how this guy's like the New England Patriots or the Tom Brady of horse racing. But I mean, if he wins, I mean, thank God all this is documented. That's all I got to say about that. But see what his schedule is tomorrow, and if he doesn't have a first by the time the race goes around, again, Baffert really does have a great narrative, and we even learned more things tonight that we had not covered yet. Again, if you got here late, just rewind to the beginning and see what I said about Baffert and how he won 19 years ago with the 19 horses running, because there's 19-year cycles with the moon, and in Gematria moon is 51 and 15 like the date. So, but again, every single jockey, every single trainer got all the fresh stats here for the race tomorrow, so it's easy to write down and track, and again, put that own mind to work and take it to the next level. And again, if you can find out the schedule and get in advance what races these jockeys and trainers are going to be participating in, and then start to look in the horses they're using, you can pick up on some things. You can be like, oh, look how this would go with this race number. I mean, some things will blow your mind. So they really do line a lot up. And I realize I'm not going to be able to do it tomorrow because, I mean, the races are going to start in hours. So, but there will be many more horse races to come, and you can use the same methodology. The Preakness, the Belmont Stakes. Okay, but every single horse is up here. Let me just make sure there's not anything else I need to say about some of these horses. Pletcher's first race tomorrow is 325. That number is related to the old Knights Templar and the Council of Nicaea in the Catholic Church. Yeah, again, everything that we said about all the horses is still true. It's just now we have all the fresh stats, and if you can keep track of this tomorrow, there can be some real value to the effort. Okay. I don't know why that's there. Huh. Some of them, I randomly wrote that in there. This woman, Hidden Stash, her jockey, it's going to be his 200. He concluded today with 233 races, which I found interesting because that's the 51st prime, and it's also the 13th Fibonacci number, 233. So, like, something that's interesting about that is the word luck in Jewish gematria. In Jewish gematria is 233, and again the 13th Fibonacci number. 13 in luck. Some people think it's real lucky. Some people think it's real unlucky. But that Hidden Stash, the jockey, interesting amount of races. It's just the problem is there's not a lot of information for him. The trainer is missing the information. She does come in with 52 races under her belt for the year. She's the no woman trainer has ever won the Kentucky Derby. And something tells me it probably won't be this year because it's the 147th and Freemasons 147, and there's no women in Freemasonry. Order of the Eastern Star is related, but it's still not Freemasonry. Okay. This horse. Okay, so I just learned that how important the number 154 is to Saturday. I had it up for a different jockey when I had up the wrong stats, but now I see this 154 here. And what blows my mind is King James also equals 154. What in the world? Hey, here's a long shot horse to keep an eye on. This horse is like the king, right? And this is the horse that's born on February 13th, 213, the NBA Finals 213. And it's running next to Brooklyn Strong. But 154, but here's the thing about 154. Check this out. This number had been bothering me because the Jesuits were formed in 1540, and I started to realize April 15th, 15/4 is important to him. And right now, the Superior General that day is 154 days after his birthday, and a few other things. But so I was like, God, that number's got to be something because I knew King James was 154, and I think, what is it? Is it Ritual Sacrifice? Yeah, Ritual Sacrifices. God, it's also 616, like what some people contend is the real number of the beast. I never noticed that before. But look at this with 154. Okay, if you write out 93 as a word, it equals 154, right? And Saturn's 93. And this is a big, important number with Saturn rituals. And if you write out Saturnalia, which is about Saturn, it equals 154. And if you write out Star of Remphin, it's 154, and that's a symbol that's related to Saturn that goes back to Babylon. And just like this whole thing of letters and numbers, Gematria goes back to Babylon. And if you write out Saturn's cube, the six-sided object, because Saturn's the sixth planet, Saturn's cube's 154, right? And right now we're in the time of the first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, who's born during the time of Saturnalia. And then again, April 15th, 15/4, that's 201 days after the Jesuit establishment date with Rome, September 27th. And the Illuminati was created by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt on May 1st, 1776, and illuminates 154. So this horse, this horse is the payday right here. If this horse even places, that is great. With the 19 horses, I see it could get its 19th place. Like, this horse doesn't necessarily have to win, but I'm just realizing this. Read more about. I'm glad I noticed it. It was It's funny. I did that research for that number for another. It's okay. Before I realized that I was working with the wrong stats because there were even more races from when I thought they were done today. There was a nice 154 ritual with the jockey for Bob Baffert, John Velasquez, who won last year. But the numbers weren't right. So I was like, God, okay, it doesn't even apply to this. But here it is with this horse, and this horse has huge odds. And I am curious about this horse. And again, the race is on Saturday, you guys, and Saturday is named after Saturn, right? So you see how all this fits in? You see how important it all is? It is important. This is an important discovery today, regardless of what happens with that horse. But, again, the NBA finals start on July 8th this year, 7-8. Run for the Roses, 78. Again, King James. Okay. I'm glad I just noticed that. Van Dyke. It would be crazy if that horse won and he got his 8th first at the Kentucky Derby with the 19 horses. I don't think so, but it placing would not surprise me. If it won even with that 154 thing, which I realize is a big deal. If it won, I would still be surprised based on what some of these other horses got going. But I realize this guy's born in 94 as well. I'm just going to jot that down too. But getting in third place, that could work out. So okay, that's Wesley A. Ward, the trainer, who could get his 19th third place. And that could be symbolic for LeBron, because what have we been thinking he's going to do since he signed with the Lakers? Three-peat, right? And it's funny, at first, a lot of headlines at first said he had a $153 million contract, like Cavaliers is 153, the 17th triangular, but then a lot of headlines ended up saying $154 million contract. Okay. Right there. It was reported both ways, strategically, because it's all number rituals. Okay. Well, that horse has really long odds. Oh, look at that. I already had that written down in the notes. If that horse did get third, it would be 3, 2, and 2 all time. Man, that's a trip. That horse has a good shot at third place. Man, can you imagine if your card had the right first, second? Imagine if it was Baffert's horse, and then it was that favorite horse, right? It comes up short and gets second and becomes 5-1 all time. Baffert gets his 7th. Second horse, or the favored horse with the United Arab Emirates guy, Essential Quality. If that horse came in second, and this horse came in third, man, that ticket would smash. And again, that's the thing about a horse race. You can make a dollar bet on a ticket like that. That dollar will pay a lot of money. That's what's fun about horse racing. And that's why people who are... So again, if this is your first time ever doing this, you guys, when you're new at something, don't ever just like jump into it. There's nothing that can replace experience. Being able to do it yourself. Having the confidence to make the bet. Knowing how to structure your bets. Using your own eyes and mind. There's people who follow me, but there's certain things like Rod. Rod's a veteran, but if he disagrees with me, he's going to go his own way because he's locked into something. He's really following something. He knows something I don't know. And again, that'll be you too. I'm just teaching you how to do this. But this horse is super interesting. And like I was saying, the birthday distance for the jockey pops. The trainer, born on 3/3. You know what? Let's get cute. NBA Finals 33, because there's NBA Finals numbers all over the place here. But again, just his 154th. Before I even realized that, you guys, I mean, this was already in the notes, right? This was already all up here. The NBA Finals. This is earlier today. This is earlier in this week. We talked about this. It running next to Brooklyn Strong. But now to see that the trainer is going to come in on 154, which is connected to King James, but then as I learned tonight, it has a lot to do with Saturn, which is named what Saturday is named after. So, tomorrow or today, it's today now. It's May 1st. Today's LeBron's 123rd day of his age. Conspiracy is 123 forwards, 147 in reverse. Just gonna throw that out there too. The player that just died from Kentucky Wildcats, is another 201 like run for the roses, like LeBron, born 201 days after the 1984 NBA Finals. But that player just died who played at Kentucky, who signed with LeBron and then died in a car crash days later, Terrence Clark. And again, here's the big race in Kentucky. So 3-2-2 all time. If this horse hit third place, again, that would be off. I'd have to put $1 on that ticket right there, or maybe even more than $1. Baffert, Essential Quality in second, and this horse in third. And it doesn't mean it's going to go that way, because that doesn't include Asmussen's horse. That doesn't include Known Agenda. But that's why, if you have $20 and you structure 20 different bets covering the narratives you like for $1 that can pay, big chunks, there's ways that you can, do very well. So, and there's even bets that are smaller than $1 that pay a lot of money. There's nickel bets in horse racing that can pay a lot of money. So look into what's out there for horse racing if you've never bet it before. But again, to structure your cards and come up with your creative ideas for how you're going to make that nickel turn into $1,000, again, by having this information, people have been able to do it. Gives you an edge that you would otherwise not have. Okay, Sainthood, another Pletcher horse. It's funny it comes in with the jockey has the 35 wins coming in today. The big Catholic number was Sainthood. I'll just put a note next there about that. Yeah, he's even got a 35 in his stats, the trainer Pletcher. King Fury's the horse that got scratched. So don't confuse King Fury and Like the King. Like the King's running. King Fury is out. Okay. Somehow I even ended up putting in a King Fury stat. I'm just going to get rid of it because it could be confusing. Yeah, some things are less interesting than others. Brooklyn Strong running next to well, I should write one thing up. If Manuel Franco has a chance at win 75 going into the Run for the Roses, that might be worth a long shot. So again, that is something to pay attention to. This is another horse that pays a ton right now, Brooklyn Strong, if I'm not mistaken. I think its odds are pretty long, and they could be even longer by the end of the day since everyone's betting on the favorite. But again, if Manuel Franco does have a chance at his 75th win, depending on the odds and how you're doing for the day and where you sit, it could be worth, a pick, just because we know 75 is big. The first race in 1875. Run for the Roses 75. Louisville, Kentucky 75. It's clear that's not an accident. So does that mean he'll win 75? No, it doesn't. And he could win a race earlier in the day and already be at 75 going into it, and then, forget about it. But if he has a chance to pick it up, because, again, by the end of the day, you could be thinking, man, I'm sitting pretty right now, but, man, if this guy came through, that would burn me. Well, he might be worth an insurance bet at that point. So that's why it's worth having the information and paying attention. This Daniel Velasquez, the Brooklyn Strong guy. Notice he does come in with 51 races under his belt, coming into 5-1. So that is kind of interesting, but that could also just be symbolic and just part of the ritual of being here today. Doesn't, well, I guess I could also make the point that he could pick up his 15th win if he doesn't win anything else earlier in the day. And you guys, I'll tell you what, I'm riding the LeBron 3-peat until that's eliminated. But I'll tell you what, like if you're big on the Lakers to win this year and you're already that way, if this horse upsets tomorrow, that is something to get a little bit nervous about, because again, we see they're doing something with the like the King in the NBA Finals, no doubt about it. And it's running next to Brooklyn Strong, and they're in lanes 2 and 3, and King is 23. You know what I mean? If this horse somehow upset tomorrow, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's very unlikely. But if it did, that would be, a caution for the finals. I don't think we're going to be wrong about the Lakers and Brooklyn meeting each other. I don't think we're going to be wrong about that. Did you guys see that they brought LeBron back against the Kings tonight, 41 days after his supposed injury? 41, you guys. King 41, like how he won the finals last year, 41 weeks after his birthday. And I guess that is happening the night before the Kentucky Derby, isn't it? It really is. Oh my God, man, these people are something else. Notice that in the original 2 ciphers that we always knew, the alphabetic order and the alphabetic order of the rules numerology. Hey, all right. Again, today LeBron came back 41 days. Let's see his box score tonight. I haven't even seen what happened in the NBA. Let me see. Celtics 143-140. It's a big score. 76ers win tonight on LeBron's return. Celtics beat the Spurs. Wizards over the Cavs. Blazers over the Nets. Blazers got that 43 connection. Just a reminder, you guys, do your homework, because I bet you some people took the Nets to win tonight, probably thinking the Blazers would get that 13th loss. The Nets do like 13, but I'm sure I didn't decode that game, so I don't know what else is there. But again, sometimes the surface level stuff will burn you, because the Nets do like 13. Let's see. Suns, there's my Suns. If you guys have not watched our live stream for the NBA season before it began, you really should go back and watch that. Because we talked a lot about the Suns and the Jazz and Kobe, and it's funny, they're both 45 and 18. I see what they did there. Jesuits run it. That's the IHS numbers, their acronym. But it's funny, their records meet right there. Wow, 106 to 110. Those are Kentucky numbers. The Kings beat the Lakers. I didn't decode tonight's game, but just on the surface, man, Sacramento and Los Angeles got the 37 overlap. So but God, look at that. I'm glad I looked this up, man. Anthony Davis, the leading scorer who played at Kentucky. But Kentucky's 110 and 106. Wow. Wow. I think this horse has a good chance. This horse right here. Where'd it go? King Fury. I think this horse has a real good shot to finish in third, you guys. I really do. Oh shit, am I messing something up? What's wrong with me? Not King Fury. I'm sorry, you guys. Not King Fury. Like the King. Like the King. That's the one. Like the King. This horse. That 3-2-2 all time. And the other stuff we talked about. Just seeing what they did in the game the night before this. I mean, no way. No way. Let me see what the current odds. Current odds. Here, let me go to like Vegas Insider or something. I got to see what the current odds are on this horse. Man, if you have it for, you can just take it to place. So if it finishes in the top three, but if you had a specific bet for it to hit third place and it hit that, I know that's going to be a nice payout. Place would be a good payout too. Um, this is not what I want. Okay, let's do it this way. Kentucky Derby current odds. No one. So as of right, Like the King is 57-1 right now. That's an NBA Finals number. Ah, man. Moon is also 57 as well. And again, the moon's on the 19-year cycles, and 57 is divisible by 19. I see the Lakers stayed on 17 home wins in that game, too. What's up with that? They're on 17 championships. But that 106 110, man. LeBron had 16 points, 6 of 12 field goal, 1 of 3. 1 of 3. He made 1 3. Is that horse going to finish 3 on 1-5? Like how he was 1 of 5 for 3? He was 3 of 5 for free throws. Yeah, I am glad I looked this up, man. Okay, we're going to put that in there. There's a guy named Halliburton in the NBA now. That is too funny to me, man. Talk about a thoroughbred. Oh my god. Okay. I got to add this to the notes. And with all the NBA parallels, the Lakers lost to the Kings 106-110 the night before the KD. The night before the Kevin Durant. Let's see. It is too late. Yeah, that's wild right there. That is wild. It was their 63rd game of the season each. I suppose the Kings picked up their 12th away win. That's the they oh, so I see what the Kings did. They stayed on 37 losses. Sacramento and Los Angeles are both 37, and they picked up their 12th away win, 37 the 12th prime. So yeah, I guess there was a decent surface level riddle for the Kings. I would have liked to have seen the Lakers win this though. I got to admit, LeBron coming back and not picking up that 18th home win. It's not the end of the world though. Lakers could get their 18th finals, but that is a big symbolic NBA number. The King ritual's intact though. And with regards to the King, you guys, don't forget King James Bible's 56 in the most pure cipher too. Okay. Wow. 110, 106. I can hardly believe it. Okay, we went through. I'm just making sure we went. This Obezos. Um, this horse, Obezos. I remember one of the experts liked this horse a lot. I did notice one thing in there that I don't think I mentioned earlier is that if it did win, it would be 2-0-1 for the year. A bit like 201. Again, there's some other horses that have a lot better than that, but just to make sure it was said. So I will take a little bit of calls here, you guys. I will stay up till 3 in the morning. It's past my bedtime. It's about 6 a.m. on the East Coast. Unless you guys just keep me glued to the phone. But here, I'll open up the phone line for any night owls or people up early on the East Coast. But again, take these stats and write them down on a piece of paper for the trainers and the jockeys. How many races they've done going into tomorrow, or today, going into today. How many races, how many firsts, how many seconds, how many thirds, just like I have it all up here for you. Again, every single one. The number to the left is how many races for 2021. Then the next 3 numbers, first, second, third. If you have all those down and you track these guys through the day, there's going to be times where it definitely pays dividends. So all the notes are updated. And if you got here late, I'd encourage you to watch what I shared at the beginning, that I found out more about Baffert and also the favored horse. I did not realize that it was owned by the Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates, and United Arab Emirates is 121, like the races on the 121st day of the year. I find that very interesting. But yeah, quite a few new things about Baffert, and then also this horse that actually we were kind of looking at. But the one with the King connection, it is quite fascinating. And maybe because it's so late, we don't have any calls. And let me check in with the chat then. Okay, we might have, let's see. All right, seems like there's some arguing in the chat. And again, just ignore the trolls, you guys, because again, just the trolls. Like this Kenny G's a troll. Did Kenny G help anybody win, a ton of money off the Triple Crowns before they ever happened? No, he didn't. And how many times have we done it? Again, just ignore the trolls. What's up, 262?
Hey, Adam from Kenosha. How you doing, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
Thanks for staying up and doing all this. You mentioned something about doing something more effectively or more efficiently. Derek's got a test calculator out there that could save your data when you put it in. So you could type stuff in once, save it into a text file, and then you drop and drag it right back in. That would save you a ton of time when you're doing your decodes.
That's true, because I'm often looking at like the same golfer names, the same trainer names, jockey names.
You could have your database full of golfers. All you do, you type it in once, you save it as a CSV or a TXT file, and then next time you load up or refresh the page, you could drag that file right into the text field, and then everything populates. You can do your searches. He's even got some stuff where you just click on the numbers in that table below, and if it matches another number, they flash, and it's an easy match finder. So it's really cool. He's doing a lot of good development on that. But just a tidbit here. I like Midnight Bourbon. Right now I'm actually driving on I-55 in Illinois, and the speed limit's 55, so I like that.
Okay. Yeah. The magic number.
But also, yeah, Medina Spirit, Midnight Bourbon, love those horses, so hopefully we can get something on that. But no, I just want to thank you for everything you're doing and give you that little tidbit. I think that link is Gematriator.com/test2. I think it's all one word, test2, and you'll see his new calculator that he's been developing. And then I have a saved version of that on my own site. So
very cool.
Also, one last thing with it being the 147th, do you think it'd be too easy to do something for World Series? Are they trying to connect something with World Series?
You know what? That's a good thought. Let's look at what baseball games are going on. I also need to go back and review what happened on April 27th, the 17th day of the year. But let's see what baseball games are going on this
Yeah, I was
day.
looking for some goofy Toronto stuff on the 117th day. I didn't really see anything too crazy, at least from my eyes.
Yeah,
But I sometimes with like the Daytona, and then we saw with the Masters. Sometimes it's like, we dig so deep, but it's like so surface sometimes,
just like
and it's like
gray equals
obvious.
51, and the gray horse could win on 5-1. That's as surface as it could get.
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah. That's probably the
Oh,
exact
and
type of thing I would have.
apparently,
Just when I first.
apparently, I just passed on I-55. I just passed 322 mile marker
Huh,
for the record.
that's funny. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at the games real quick. See if
hmm
anything stands out with them.
Oh,
Okay.
did you see what LeBron scored in terms of how many points?
16.
Yeah, like the 106.
Yeah, Los Angeles is 53, the 16th prime too. Just like how there were 16 points in Super Bowl 53 against LA. Let's see. Baltimore, that's a horse town. They're playing the Athletics tomorrow. I'm just thinking about that since Baltimore's horse town. Um, hmm. Matt Harvey. They always got Matt Harvey on the mound for the biggest damn rituals in the history of the world. They do, man. It's like Matt Harvey makes all my books because they're doing stuff with this guy all the time. What are the odds that he's on the mound for the Orioles on the day of the horse race?
Oh
Okay,
my gosh.
I'm gonna have to think. It's not. I don't. Well, the Orioles manager who won the World Series in '83 did die this year, 38 years later. God, if I'm wrong about Toronto and the AL, I'm gonna have to look at both these
Wasn't
teams.
there a wasn't there a pitcher that died for the Orioles as well? Uh, who was it? I thought there was a pitcher from way back from the Orioles that died recently as well.
There might have been. I can't think very well right now. I need to go to bed, but um,
No, you're hitting that coffee or something. I saw.
I was actually drinking sleepy time tea because I need to pass out. I need to get up early and do stuff tomorrow too. But so,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I'm interested to see what the score of that game is tomorrow, just since Baltimore's horse town. Uh,
What's the start time?
1:07 p.m. So that should be before. What time's the race start tomorrow? Like 5:30 Eastern.
Central, I think. Yeah, 5:30 Central, or I think it's 6:45 Eastern.
Yeah, so that's two.
Something.
So this will start. This will start about an hour and a half before the race. Oh, his call disconnected. I don't know why. Sorry, man. Disconnected. Yeah, I'm just trying to look at all the games though, real quick, just see if anything comes to my mind. But admittedly, my mind is definitely not at full capacity right now. I am quite tired. Let's see. Yeah, I might have to study that tomorrow's games though. There could be something tomorrow because 147 is always used in World Series rituals. So seeing what happens in the baseball games on the day of the 147th Kentucky Derby, that could be a thought. Yeah, there might be some storyline with a hometown that a trainer's from, something like that. See, the Blue Jays got back up to 500. I'm not worried about the Blue Jays because they're the kind of team that's got new players they could mold over the course of the year. Caller? 309?
Yo, what's going on, Zach, man? This is Kenny G. I wasn't in there trolling or anything. What came up was I asked the chat what was everybody's top three picks. And then I said in the chat I was asking you a question. I think you was looking at the chat, said, can we get your top three picks? So then everybody, I guess JC started making the argument, he's the one that showed you his knowledge and all that. I wasn't even saying that. I'm saying, what are the top three picks? My top three picks are known agenda, Churchill down, and dynamic one. That's what I put out there, just to eliminate it on out. Wasn't in there trolling or anything. That's what I'm saying to the chat. You can go back and look through all my comments.
All right, here. Let me
That's
fix
what I'm
it.
saying.
All right, you're back. I
Hello.
misread the comments. Then it looked like you were trolling. It looked like people were arguing with you.
Well, yeah, it became arguing because people were misunderstanding what I was saying. It was that JC guy when I was saying what are the top 3 picks. It was me and other people that we put our top 3 picks on there, so we can sit there and eliminate it down and go down to the one. So I noticed that 3 other people had known agenda in their top 3 picks. So that's why I canceled them. That's my top pick who's going to win it all. That's why I said in the chat, look, ask you what are your top three
Okay,
picks
all right. Well, I don't need to.
so we
This
can get
this
this
isn't
on there.
helping anything. Is there anything else you want to say that's helpful? You're unblocked, so you're back in there. But if I see you trolling again, if that's the way, if it's starting arguments and stuff, I'm just gonna assume you are trolling.
I wasn't trolling. I just had to clarify. I bring my knowledge to the table. I always call in, on the Wednesday shows. I'm not here to distract anybody or anything. I'm sitting there saying, hey, let's try it another way instead of just going through all the horses. Let's just all compare and contrast.
Well,
Basically, what we're
again, your
doing,
comment right there kind of
break
sounds
it
dumb.
down.
Are you not able to? Do you not have the brain power to pull out what I'm saying and how I've really emphasized some horses very clearly?
That's what I've done. That's why I've got my top 3 picks. That's why I broke it down to my top 3 picks, which is known agenda, Churchill down, and dynamic one, based
Okay,
on the
but to
information
get
that
your
you
top 3
put
picks, you have
out.
to go through the horses and lay out what's out there, which is what I'm doing. All right, I'm gonna move on, man. It's late, and your call's not helpful to me. Okay. And again, you got the whole chat riled up, and everyone thinks you're a troll. So, again, learn how to communicate effectively. If everyone thinks you're a troll, you're doing something wrong. Okay. Yeah. Some people are just annoying, man. And I don't know. So, anyway, but all the odds are right here. I would do something with this like the king. You don't have to bet a lot on this horse, but again, you know, that horse got a riddle and 57 to 1, that means it, and again that the third if it hits third place like that, that's where, if it's going to do well, that's where I think it finishes as third, because there's a nice riddle for it to tuck in at third there, and that wouldn't quite pay 57 to 1. 57 to 1's to win the thing, but for it to finish in third, you know here we got to take a call from Baltimore since it's Harstown, but third would pay well with that horse. What's up, caller?
Hey, Zach. Hey, known agenda's last win was 51 days before today now, and today's race, Kentucky Derby, 188 days before the Breeders' Cup, exactly.
Oh, it's
And
188 days, huh?
yep, and then 188 days in known agenda's name. Bavarian Illuminati, and Adam Weishaupt, and all that.
Yeah, Known
I
Agenda is
like known
definitely one of
agenda.
the top horses in the race in terms of riddles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
So,
like that one.
that was it. That was a good catch to catch that its last win was 51 days ago. So let's see. Achievements, results. Here we go. So let's see. March 27th, 2021. Was that the day?
Yep.
For. But that wouldn't have been 51 days before the race.
Let's see.
That'd be 35 days, right?
35. Maybe that was 35, and 35 equals win. I thought that
Well,
was
do you remember?
51
Do you
days
remember what
before
I
the
talked about with Known Agenda in 35?
No,
No
what's that?
horses won in that post for 35 years.
Right. That was it. That was it. But there was something else that was 51 days. Maybe his birthday. I don't know. Something. I seen 51 was there too, though. But
Oh, okay. All right.
notes. I lost my note paper. Well, yeah, that's it. Thanks.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, because to the end of March would be 4 days. April's 30 days, so that's 34 days. So May 1st would be 35 days later. It won at Gulfstream Park. Let's see. sometimes people call in and it seems like they have the greatest find, and then I go and look it up and it's not true, and I start to think that maybe these people are calling in and trolling and just like feeding us like a juicy stat that's completely made up because they know that I like those number patterns. Again, that's there's so many trolls that hang around here to spread bad info, and they like to pretend that they're not trolls too. But yeah, that is interesting though that it was 35 days before the race because it could become the first horse to win there in 35 years. And it's got that March 22nd 322 birthday, kind of like the Skull and Bones number, and Skull and Bones is 149, the 35th prime. Okay. Yeah. But again, if you got here late, watch what was at the beginning of the video, the latest information on Bob Baffert and the horse that's favored to win. There's something very surface level, plus the owner of the horse is quite interesting. He's been ruling the United Arab Emirates for 15 years, essentially. And again, just when you go through, when you get down to the sections where for each horse, you have the trainer and jockey there as well. When you get to that part of the decode in the notes, it starts right here with the essential quality box. For below each trainer and each jockey, you have their races, the number of races they have for the year, the first, the seconds, the thirds. I would write all those down for the jockeys and trainers. Baltimore?
Yeah, it wasn't 51 days. It's 5 weeks and 1 day since his last win. That's where I got that 51 from. And that's it. That's all I wanted to fix.
Is that right, though?
Yeah, 36 days.
Oh, if you count the span. If you count the span, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay.
Right. And 1 month and 5 days with 15 and 51.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Good
Okay.
one. All right, thanks.
Yep.
All right, that's for known agenda. So 5 weeks and 1 day, the span, because it's 35 days later or a span of 36. Okay, but yeah, below each trainer, below each jockey, you got the races for the year, the first, second, and thirds. And again, these trainers and these jockeys will have multiple races throughout the day because there's 14 events. Keep track as a jockey records another first, another second, another third. And just pay attention. I mean, like, I haven't done the careful analysis, but like if somebody is in the 13th race of the day and they can pick up their 41st, first, second, or third of the year, maybe they're on the 13th horse as well. Yeah, pay attention to that 13th race in light of the Bavarian Illuminati Day. But again, you'll see things like that throughout the day, and you'll be like, wow, look at that. That horse. Just, again, when you follow it throughout the day, there'll be really, if you look, the jockeys and the trainers, because you'll already have that information, you'll just need to keep track of the horses. And you'll just see things like that. It'll be like the race number where the prime number relationship's there, and it might be with the jockey and the trainer, and maybe even the horse. Like maybe it was through, let's say it was 41-13. Maybe the horse you'd notice had 0 first, 0 thirds, but 3 seconds. You're like, wow, if that horse got the win here, it would be 1 in 3, kind of like 13, and you got them picking up their 41s. So again, that's why having these stats written out and then going through and looking at the schedule and just keeping track, where are they at for the day? Like we said, Brad Cox, if he has a great day, he could be looking at his 94th first place ever in the 147th Kentucky Derby. Then that's where you'd want to consider a Brad Cox horse, such as Essential Quality, So I'll write that here. If Brad Cox can pick up his 94th first in the main event, the 147th Kentucky Derby, beware. And the reason I write beware is because, again, a lot of people don't want to see this horse win because these other horses that have great narratives with longer shots, they are what you here, we got a call real quick. Caller, no caller ID. Are you calling in to troll or you got something?
Hello. I want to know Are you familiar with a LeBron James show called Survivor's Remorse?
I don't know if that's a real call because you called him a no caller ID. I'm always just suspicious. Why? What's up with the show?
Huh?
You called him with no caller ID. When people do that, I don't know if they're like trolling or what. What's with the
No.
LeBron?
It's LeBron James show called Survivor's Remorse.
Okay, what's it
Like,
about?
it's a show, a TV show that came on.
Okay.
Okay, okay, is there something significant with the number 229? Because I keep seeing that
It's the
number,
50th prime
the
number.
extra day in February.
It's the 50th prime number.
Okay, because if you look at this show, there's a person called Jesse T. That's the star of the show. Like, it was an all-star cast, but he's not that known. And so his birthday is 229, and Terrence Clark died at 229 span of days, right? And in the show, he's from Dorchester, Boston, just like Terrence Clark. So I think there's probably tied to Kentucky Derby in that show, but I'm not sure. I can't, because I can't find it anymore. I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous.
Okay. So LeBron has a show called Survivor's Remorse.
Yes, and the star is Jesse T. Usher, I think, and his birthday is 229, just like Terrence Clark died on 229 days, in the span of 229 days, and he's from Dorchester, Boston in that show, just like Terrence Clark's from Dorchester, Boston.
Well, who's from the same town?
Last one only had 36. Huh?
Who's from the same town?
The star of the show. And the show, he's from Dorchester, Boston, just like Terrence Clark. The Jesse T. Owens, Cam Calloway is his name on the show.
I'm trying. Jesse T. Usher, that's him?
Yeah, Jesse T. As you type in Survivor's Remorse, he should pop up the first person.
I see. February 29th, 92. I see.
His birthday is the leap year day, just like Terrence Clark, and he's from Dorchester in the show, not in real life in the show. And his real birthday is 29.
Okay.
And you know, Terrence Clark played in Kentucky, so I think that has something to do with the Kentucky Derby. I don't know. LeBron and Anthony Davis came back this week. There's a lot going on with them. All of that stuff this week.
Yeah, I'm sure it is all connected. So I'm not real familiar with the show or the person, but what you're saying is interesting.
The show it's an all-star cast, and he's pretty unknown. That's pretty weird, too. But, yeah. All right, that's all I had.
All right, man. Thank you. Have a good night. Okay. Yeah, and I forget what I was talking about before he called in, but again, I really would go through and just take down on a piece of paper. It will not take long to do. Just scroll through these notes. You have every jockey, every trainer for every horse, but just keep track throughout the day because, again, there's 14 races. These numbers are not going to be numbers that you can use for the Kentucky Derby because these numbers are likely going to change over the course of the day with the many races that are won. Jockeys will pick up more firsts, seconds, and thirds. A lot of these guys will run in multiple races. And again, watch out for like the Ortiz brothers. A lot of times they do rituals with both of those brothers in races. You know, you might see a race where they're on a horse where like one horse could pick up his fourth first and another horse could pick up his 7th second or third. And again, it's the 47 date numerology and Ortiz is 47. So again, you can pinpoint things like that. That's where you get big payouts on small bets. And again, I guess we got, some people in the chat who are new here who just want the golden tickets put in their pocket. We've been able to do that in the past, but if you guys aren't listening to what I'm doing right now, I'm super busy in life. I'm writing a book. I'm keeping up with everything. I'm trying to see if you can motivate people in your hometown. Things are a lot more important than just gambling. All of you guys who are just focused on gambling and not paying attention to what's going on in the world, guess what? They're devaluing our money. This game's not only going to keep us ahead for so long. But, yeah, if you don't appreciate the tips I'm teaching you and how I'm showing you how to do it, I mean, I'm telling you, you're in the wrong place. So you got to learn how to do it. And again, some of you might not realize it, but again, there's a reason the phrase exists. Don't cast your pearls before swine. Swine won't appreciate it. Swine will say things like, okay, I just want 3 picks that are going to win. That's what a swine response would be. Could be the guy calling in and say he's not a troll. Because I was pretty sure I was reading his own comments that was making people mad. I was like, this guy's just writing a bunch of bullshit in here. Anyway. Well, it's not 5 a.m. out here, Jeremy. I just saw the chat. But I stayed up because I wanted to make sure I had all the correct numbers. And again, I was just thinking more about the 19, and I realized 19 years ago, Bob Baffert won. And I also noticed how Wikipedia has this Bob Baffert shot with the 201 because, again, his jockey is the jockey that's coming in tomorrow with 201 races run for the year, and he won last year in back-to-backs 201. So, again, this little thing that Wikipedia's got going where they're blocking out the other year so you see the 201 up there. I think they said in this picture's from 2015, kind of like tomorrow's date. But first won the Derby in 97, 24 years ago. Jockey, that word jockey's got that 24 connection. So there was something. Oh. Bob Baffert could pass that other trainer with 6 wins because they're tied for first all time with 6. Like, you know what? That is really close to Nick Saban passing Bear Bryant, isn't it? Because Nick Saban and Bear Bryant were both Nick Saban and Bear Bryant were both tied at 6 college football championships wins apiece until Bear Bryant won this year, getting his 7th. Baffert could pass, what's his name? Ben A. Jones? Is that what it is? Yeah, Ben A. Jones. And 69 years after Ben A. Jones won his last Kentucky Derby in 52. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh, by the way, the Kentucky Derby last year was supposed to be May 2nd, 5-2, but then it got canceled because of COVID and moved to September 5th, 18 weeks later. Remember, Velazquez, from winning it September 5th to tomorrow's a span of 239 days, which is the 52nd prime. And caller called in earlier today and pointed out that racing equals 52 and horse races 52, and I'm saying there's always something about that number with the horse races 52. But that guy won his 6th in 52, and that's funny because if you write 6, it equals 52 in the most simple cipher. 6 is 52. That guy won his 6th in 52, and then Baffert could beat him 69 years later. All right. All right, 24 years ago. Yeah, so anyway, Baffert has a few more nice little riddles there. The favorite horse, though, has a big thing with the United Arab Emirates Prime Minister and Vice President owning the horse. And then the Like the King horse running next to Brooklyn Strong became even more interesting because of what we uncovered. And after tonight's Lakers game score, 106-110, when Kentucky's 106-110, and LeBron's back against the Kings 41 days after his injury, you know. Oh, and by the way, King's also 67, which is the 19th prime, and you got 19 horses running in the race. And again, in lanes 2 and 3, you got Brooklyn Strong and Like the King. So, Like the King's actually in the 2nd, and Brooklyn Strong's in the 3rd. But yeah, those horses are long shots, but again, they'd be a pretty payout that you wouldn't have to bet much on. Like the King. All right. Yeah, we'll leave it there, you guys. It's late, and I did see Jeremy's here. You know what, Jeremy? If Jeremy has anything to say this early in the morning, I'll wait to see if Jeremy wants to call in. He might have something else, but I think yeah, there a lot of money did come in on essential quality, and his odds are down even more. So somebody said earlier today on their thing he was 4 to 5, meaning you know bet 50 to win 40. So or bet 100 to win 80. Okay. Well, it might just be Jeremy's probably just waking up. He's probably making coffee right now. Yeah, we'll leave it there, you guys. So we know what the good horses are, the best odds. Again, the favorite horse. The favorite horse very well could win. Discovering the United Arab Emirates connection and the 121 on the 121st day of the year. There's a reason that horse is the favorite. Again, the most surface level thing. Gray equals 51. The race is on 5-1. The horse is gray. So again, that's for the horses we like, that's the one thing that would kill us because the group of horses we like all have good odds. If you covered with all those horses and one of them came through, you'd be well ahead. But the killer would be if that top horse won, the favorite horse. So, again, just play smart, structure your bets well. You know what the good horses are. We've been going over it all week. And, again, look into the options because you don't have to wager a lot of money to potentially win a lot. I mean, you could have a small amount that you risk tomorrow with a potentially big payout, and that can be fun too. Because then if you lose, you're like, it's not the end of the world. I only lost $10, but had my picks come through, man, I would have picked up an easy 1,000 today. So, okay, Jeremy doesn't have any new stuff in the middle of the night. So hoping he came up with another gem for us, but that's all right. So, yeah, go over the notes because the notes are all updated. And again, make your piece of paper. And for Sarah, I saw your comment, Sarah, about how you need the golden ticket. Again, use your intuition. I imagine you're a woman with the name Sarah. You might even be the ones who made me the very nice candies, which I appreciate if that was you. Thank you so much. And, but yeah, do what I said. Write out on the piece of paper and just practice. And then keep track of the races as they go on. Keep track of them and tally. And you might, I'm assuming you know some of the number connections. You know, maybe in the 13th race tomorrow, you see a horse that can pick up the 6th win all time because 13's the 6th prime, this type of thing. And maybe one of the jockeys that we like is in that race. Maybe in that race you see that he can get his 91st. So again, these are the kind of things to look for tomorrow. Okay, let's just say the 13th race. What are the numbers that are connected to 13? 41, 91, and 6. That's what you got to know like for your races tomorrow. Here, you know what? I'm going to stay up and do this last thing for you guys real quick. I'm going to just write it. There's 14 races tomorrow. Maybe I should do it at the top. Top or bottom? Let's see. Where didn't I? I thought I had a screenshot of the 14 races up here. Well, I noted here. I guess I have the link to the 14 races, but and realize those races have names too. I mean, you can do definitely additional work. What I should look into if it's like the same thing each year, 14 races with the same names. Again, you could make like a Gematria cheat sheet for the Kentucky Derby if it's the same way each year. If it's the same races with the same names. I don't know if they switch that up. But hold on, let's just do this real quick. All right. So you have to know numbers that are associated with numbers. That's a huge part of this research. So I'm going to write out 1 through 14 here. And because it is the middle of the night, it is possible that I will forget something that I should not. but I'll try not to. Okay, so numbers associated with 1. I've seen many times before where the jockey who wins the first race of the day wins the last race of the day, so pay attention to that. I don't know if I should write often. Many times is probably a better way to say it, but I've observed it plenty of times. Many times the jockey who wins the opening race wins the closing race. Okay, so just pay attention to that. Doesn't mean it has to be that way, but if like your favorite horse and the one you're filling and you see that jockey win, your intuition very likely is correct. Numbers associated with 2. Again, this is really going to be more effective up further ahead. 3 is the second triangular number, and 2 is the first prime number. 3, so like 6 is the third triangular number, and what is it? 5 is the third prime. Okay, so again, in the second race, this stuff's not so, but post 3 and post 1 would be the numbers that have the number relationship. It's not going to be like this in every race, but just again, knowing your number relationships can pay big dividends. Because if one of these number relationships is there and you see something else going on with like the jockey and the horse, those are good signs. But 10 is the fourth triangular number, and we were talking about how is it Velasquez? I think it's Velasquez. Let me make sure this is right. John Velasquez. Yeah. John Velasquez could win his 4th Kentucky Derby tomorrow, 10 years after winning his first. 10 is the 4th triangular number. That's the jockey on Baffert's horse. All right, 7 is the 4th prime. That's part of the reason 74 and 47 are such peas in a pod. All right, 15 is the 5th triangular number. And the 5th prime is 11 is the 5th prime. Again, you have that double connection to 11 tomorrow because it's the 121st day of the year, square root 11, and 11 date numerology. 21 is the 6th triangular number. For that reason, I'd be paying attention to post 6 a lot of the day. Just because it's the year 21, there could be some golden post 6. Like it'd be something else of like 6 horses, 1 in 6 post. That's the kind of stuff they do. If 6 horses, 1 in the post 6 by the end of the day. Anyway, 13 is the 6th prime. All right, 21, 28 is the 7th triangular number, and of course 17 is the 7th prime. This is my 3 a.m. brain. Let's see. 36 is the 8th triangular number, and 19 is the 8th prime. There is 8 horses in the Kentucky Derby. What did I just say? There's 19 horses in the Kentucky Derby. Remember, Baffert's horse is in the 8th post. Okay. 45 is the 9th triangular number. And 23 is the 9th prime. Remember, September 23rd is the day leaving 99 days left in the year. I call it the Super 9 date. 23/9, 99 days left. All right, let's see. 55 is the 10th triangular number. Remember what's going on in the Kentucky Derby. Very interesting horse in the 10th post with the 55-year-old jockey and the 55-year-old trainer, the Asmussen horse. And Asmussen has a really great ritual. I got to look at one more thing before I sign off after I'm done with this. Okay, and 29 is the 10th prime. Kentucky equals 29, for the record. Okay, let's see. 66 is the 11th triangular number. And 31 is the 11th prime. And 78 is the 12th triangular number. And 37 is the 12th prime. Remember, American Pharoah was the 12th Triple Crown winner ever, 37 years after the last American's 37. And that was a Bob Baffert horse. Run for the Roses has that 78 connection. But that's only the last race of the day. I'm going to take that away. Okay, 91 is the 13th triangular number. This is why earlier I was saying, like, if somebody could pick up if a jockey was going in this and he came in with 90 first place finishes and he could pick up that 91st, that would be very encouraging. And if there was one other thing going on, the horses that he's on, it has like a 41 name, which is the 13th prime, something like that, or a 91 name, or maybe even a 13 name, you know what I mean? Just, if it's there, it's just, and remember, this is Bavarian Illuminati Day with the 13 families. So I would not be surprised, just looking into the magic 8 ball of the 13th race. I don't know a single horse or jockey that's in that race, but I will not be surprised if somebody picks up their 91st or 41st could also be the number, because that's the 13th prime. So, but either of those numbers, and just because you start to get to these bigger numbers, 13 is also the 6th prime. Did I miss anything? Oh yeah, I should have things in here like this for where I can. Again, post 5 in the 11th race could be interesting. Just 11 and 5 prime numbers. Again, don't go off any of these blindly, but if you see some magical alignments with horses in these races that correspond with these numbers, those could be encouraging signs. All right, 105 is the 14th triangular number. 43 is the 14th prime. Okay. I'll call that number relationships. But yeah, you just want to get to the point where that's just like secondhand knowledge in your brain. And it will become secondhand knowledge in your brain if you stay with this knowledge and you apply it and use it. And again, for people who are new here and, it seems overwhelming, it's really not. This stuff is mathematical knowledge that pays dividends, and you can use it in a lot of things, not just this. I mean, having this knowledge is how we called Bitcoin to be where it was on Valentine's Day. And if you took that, you benefited tremendously. Again, you got to know your number relationships. They apply to sports and beyond. So, again, there's a lot of information here. I really don't want to see that favorite horse win, but again, I did do some more research just in case people are, you can't just turn a blind eye to what you don't want to happen. There are some great riddles here that have some great payouts, and that's definitely what we're cheering for, but go through the notes, the updates, and again, one more time, please do fill out your paper with the jockeys and the trainers and their records and track that throughout the day. That will be very helpful knowledge. Okay, guys, we'll leave it there, and have a good rest of your day. I'm going to go take a little nap.